We're live. So hello everyone, I'm Katie, founder of Flexible Working People, and really excited to be here with you this morning. I think we're streaming to both Facebook, to the Flexible Working People Facebook group, and also to LinkedIn. So if you're watching on either, please say hello, drop me a little thumbs up just to let me know you're here and we're not on our own. But thanks for joining us today. So I'm really excited to be joined by our Flexible Working People partner, Heather Black from Supermums. She's the founder of Supermums, and today we are talking about upskilling, the importance of upskilling in today's workplace, which I think is a really important topic. We've actually had quite a lot of people sign up for this, so I know it's something that people are really interested in. And before I introduce Heather, just let me give you a bit of a background to kind of what we're going to be talking about. And I think that there's a huge demand now, or a demand for digital skills that we've seen, and companies are really changing kind of what they want and what they're looking for. And that's expected to rise by more than 50%, which is huge, by 2025. And so the future of work means that we have to think about what's required to upskill, how we should be thinking about entirely different roles to the ones we've traditionally been thinking about and the ones that we know. And this is also presenting problems for businesses who want to hire people who don't necessarily have all the right skills. And as jobs are evolving, so are the skills. So today's session is kind of looking at what are those skills that people need to have to join businesses as we evolve the future of the workplace. So just to talk a bit more about Heather launched a business called Supermums in 2016, which she will talk about today with us. But basically it's to raise awareness of other career paths that are open and available. She works predominantly with parents and helps them to find career paths that offer flexibility and good pay. And with around 45 million mums in the world, and with technology being one of the fastest growing sectors, what Heather's doing with Supermums is helping mums and dads upskill and attracting more women into tech. And since 2016, I know that you've helped over 1,000 mums and dads, I should say, globally to upskill and retrain in Salesforce to help them find flexible, well-paid roles that fit around their family life. So Supermums is an authorized Salesforce training provider with certified instructors, and they deliver flexible training courses that offer end-to-end full talent development solutions, live virtual training courses through to recruitment services, supporting both individuals and companies. So welcome, Heather. That was a long introduction.
Thank you, Katie. You did very well.
Thank you very much. Part my own work and part read. So it's really good to have you here. We've done a few of these lives before together, but we haven't really focused on this, which I think is really interesting. We've talked about Supermums business, we talked about the training, and we will touch on that as well for people who don't know much about you. But what we thought we'd do today is just talk about the types of skills that are in demand at the minute by employers. What are they? Kind of unpick it and think about how we can learn them, how we can transfer ourselves into new jobs, etc. So should we just start? Do you want to just start maybe by painting a bit of a picture of this new world of work and what companies are looking for and these skills that are being required?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, LinkedIn did a piece of research on this. If you knuckle down a little bit more on, well, what do I upskill in? And where they were sort of citing employers are really focusing their needs on is cloud computing, AI, business analysis, emotional intelligence, and data analysis. And I would also put digital marketing in there because digital marketing is obviously increasing as well, and sort of covering those different things. And so for many of you listening, you may not know what these things are. I didn't know what these things were when I transversed career. This was completely new world to me, and I was just about to have a family, and I needed to pivot my own career, and I started sort of researching a little bit more about what cloud computing was, what is Salesforce, and what is business analysis. And I'd never heard these terms before, but actually doing some research around them and understanding them is what we need to be doing right now. As Katie mentioned, the World Economic Forum said, a lot of these jobs are changing, employers are needing these skills. And we've had mums and dads join Supermums that are like, I don't want to be left behind. Like, my kids are learning all this technology and I'm like really scared I'm going to be left on the fence. And if they've been out of work quite a while, they're like, I my skills aren't up to date. Like, I need to upskill to get back in the job market. And that's really the biggest priority that we've got right now, is to understand what these new skills are. And that's what we do at Supermums, is we really want to educate you. That's why I launched Supermums, because I want to educate people about where the flexible, well-paid roles are. The reason they're well paid is because there isn't enough talent to fill those jobs, so they pay well. But the reality is that all those roles that I've talked about, AI, business analysis, emotional intelligence, cloud computing, are all jobs that can be done majority of the time virtually. They can be done in person, of course, but it allows for flexible roles as well. And that's why I was, sort of had the spark to launch Supermums, because I felt, there's a real opportunity here.
It's genius. I think that there is a bit of a fear of technology. I think you've frozen as well, actually. Oh, you're back. There's a bit of fear around technology, and we talk about women in tech, and we talk about technology roles. And for people who haven't worked in tech before, it's a bit like, well, how would I even think about retraining or thinking about role in tech? When you talk to me about cloud computing and AI and business analysis and data and all that, kind of just go, oh, that just sounds like someone else. But actually, that's not the case, is it? And it's all very learnable. And so why don't you tell us about how people can even start to think about learning these new skills?
So I can talk about the different job roles. So I talk about 5 different job roles that typically people can relaunch into. And actually, I've got a quiz that I put together, which really looks at your parenting attributes as a parent. Obviously, if you're not a parent, you might sort of relate these onto other things. But in the tech, if you think about the technology space, there's different job roles you can take, and some don't require any tech. When you think about tech, you might think about coding and programming things, and that's not the case. So I'm just going to try and make it relatable in terms of perhaps you as a parent, how you might be with your kids, or as I say, sort of a similar circumstance. So if you are that empathetic parent that is always the listening ear, you like understanding, asking questions, understanding people's problems, solving challenges, you're a bit of a counsellor, you'd make a great business analyst. And as a business analyst, you'll go into organizations, you'll talk with a team about how they currently do their process. You'll suggest solutions that might improve their process using technology. So you'd learn what technology can do for them, but you don't have to actually build it, but you can suggest and say, okay, well, if you want to improve that process, we could introduce this technology and that technology. And so quite often you feel like a bit of an agony aunt, but what's really nice is you go into like a sales team or a customer service team or a marketing team, and you're helping them revolutionize the way that they do their process by suggesting new technology. Now, when you've found that out, you've created the solution, you've written out the solution for them, you document all of that and all the findings, and then you hand it over to somebody who builds the solution, if you like, if you don't want that to be you. So if you're the type of parent that likes to learn new gadgets and is quite the DIY person, or the one that is the first adopter in the family and then teaches other people how to do things, and you like building things and making things, and maybe you might also be that person that actually doesn't want to talk to people all day. You might want to actually be quite quiet, enjoy the quietness at home. I certainly I've worn all these hats, I can do all of them, and so you can wear all these hats. But you just want those days where you're just tinkering and building and nobody's bothering you. You might want to learn how to build a system. Now, within the world of Salesforce and Supermums, that's what we talk about, the cloud computing roles. And this is where you're building out a CRM system to manage customer information. Now, you can build technology systems through clicks, like you drag and drop and you write things, and you can do that. I could do that. Never had a background in technology, but I could build a Salesforce system for an organization through clicks, not code. Now, if you have an appetite to learn code, you absolutely can develop more of an appetite for code and enhance the architecture and build out more complex systems. There's definitely a career path there for you, but that sort of is another route that you can go if that's your type of personality. Now, if you are the parent that is the organizer, likes coordinating budgets and what everybody's doing and is a big planner, and you might be the one that organises the friends parties or the get-togethers, then the project manager role might be more you. With any technology project, there's project managers, the people that are herding everybody along, like being the shepherd with the sheep.
I love how you've done this. I love how you've made it really real and taken people's existing skills that they can really identify with and go, that's me.
Oh, that's you, brilliant. You'd be a perfect project manager.
No, that one's not me. I'm not the one who organises everything.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so if you are you could be a perfect project manager if you like shepherding people. Again, you don't need to get your hands into tech. You don't need to be understanding people's problems. You just need to be coordinating the whole team and making sure everybody's delivering everything. It's great to understand the basics of technology of the what you're working with, but you don't need to know how to necessarily build it, for example, or get your hands dirty in that level. So you might be the perfect project manager. And again, all these roles are really well paid, regardless of which role you go into. And then you could be a Salesforce consultant in our world, and that's where you could wear a number of those hats. So if you like doing a bit of everything, which I enjoy doing to a certain extent, you can be a consultant and be the BA, the builder, and the project manager if you want to, or just 2 of those roles or 3 of them. It depends on what role you go into. With a Salesforce consultant, you can wear 1 or more hats in those. And then you've got if you're the parent that is the influencer. So say you've got this new gadget that you absolutely love, and then you're busy flogging it to all your friends, telling them how amazing it is, or maybe you are always negotiating and bargaining with your kids, like you're the haggler. I don't know, you're coming up with incentives.
Chief negotiator, incentivizing.
Yeah, chief negotiator. You might be the salesperson, right? So maybe, and I enjoyed this job. I'm not saying I'm not a very, very good negotiator, to be fair, but I've done the sales role as well. But this is where you might go into an organization and say to them, well, look, tell me some of your challenges, and then you sell the technology to them. And you tell them why it would really help them, and then you get them bought in, you get the deal over the line, you get that adrenaline hook that you've won them, and you like that commission. They earn the most, actually, the salespeople, out of all these jobs. But then you just hand it over to the whole team to go build it, and that's quite nice. You actually have the least effort, really, and you get to do all the fun stuff and make all these dreams, create all these dreams for people, and they're really excited. But then you don't have to do any of the legwork behind it, and you get paid the most. So I think that job's quite fun. But obviously there's a sales target there to be had. So they're kind of 5 different job roles in the technology space. And within Supermums, people will go on our program and learn the basics of what cloud computing is, what business analysis is, what data analytics is. And they'll learn those basic skills and learn more about the product. But then they will go into any of those job roles based on what is going to suit their personality the most. And I will talk, as we go through, I'll talk about other relevant transferable skills and experience as well to add on to it. But that sort of explains, I suppose, the types of roles you might get. You don't need a background in technology. We've had people who are diamond retailers, or worked as florists, or worked on a charity frontline help desk. We've literally had people from all walks of life upskilling these skills and launch. And that's because there are other traits and experience you can bring over to.
Good. Well, you've answered all my questions in one answer, which was the transferable.
Oh. Well, no, I haven't finished. There's more things there.
Good. So, no, because you've covered a lot. So let's just break it down a bit. So you've covered transferable skills, how we learn skills, all the different types of roles. And then I was going to ask you, which you covered a bit, but let's talk about a bit more. You said you do the basics. So if you do the training, then you do the basics for everything. Is that right? And then you decide what you want to specialize in. And are they 2 different courses? How does that work?
Yeah, so we at Supermums, we have a Salesforce admin course where you learn the basics of the Salesforce CRM system. Now, cloud computing was on that list for LinkedIn skills. Salesforce is the #1 cloud computing CRM product in the world. Yeah. It's used by the majority of companies and non-profits out there. And there is a need for more talent to fulfill looking after and managing these systems for these companies, because they're like a living, beating heart of a company. They can't live without them because it holds all their customer information. So we teach people those skills. We teach people AI skills. We teach them business analysis skills. We teach you data analyst skills. We've got a course on CRM analytics as well, but also our admin course looks at data and dashboards. If you've got a marketing background, we have a marketing cloud course where you can learn about the marketing cloud suite of products again, which is a very popular solution for a lot of the FTSE 100 companies down to non-profits that are using it. So it depends on your background. And I will just add there, I've talked a lot about transferable personality traits, but in terms of other things employees are looking
Actual
for,
skills.
transferable skills, but also industry experience, is when companies are hiring talent in this space that I've been talking about, they are looking for people that have worked in similar industries to themselves, because this technology isn't hanging by itself. This technology is going into a company that works in a certain industry, that has a certain lingo, that has certain KPIs, that has certain processes.
If you come from that background, you're setting yourself up well to then go in, and they already understand the lingo and the world. So now you just need
anybody can learn the technology, quite frankly, but you can't teach somebody years of experience of working in retail or automotive.
So would you recommend that if somebody comes from a background in retail or any other sector, that they would use those transferable skills, that knowledge, and go into that sector, and that's kind of how you would shoehorn them in?
Yeah. And you know what's really therapeutic about that is that maybe you've worked in an industry before and you're like, I really want to get out of that industry because it's just so like inefficient or bureaucratic, blah, blah, blah. And there's nothing more therapeutic than going back in and implementing technology to improve the efficiency of that industry, and going, right, now I'm just going to, like, all the stuff that annoyed me before, I'm just going to go in, and sort of clean up, but you're in like an authority position. And and what the other kind of talk about some transferable skills. I was talking on a podcast the other day, and I think the big reflection for me was also, and it depends on where people are at in their life, but if you've had management roles before, managed teams, but maybe you don't want that level of responsibility right now because obviously that has its challenges, but you have this management expertise. As a Salesforce consultant or in these roles, you are going in and advising other people on technology solutions. So all of that management level of authority and experience you've got is really well valued when you go into an organization where you're helping them improve their processes and their KPIs. You can really build a rapport with the manager because you understand all their challenges they've felt and experienced before. But you're not having to manage a load of people. You're kind of going in and sort of solving stuff. So I think it's a really nice transition that, if you've worked at a management level and you've got a certain salary, moving over to what I also call it like a management consultant position, like a Salesforce consultant, you are going in as that consultant of, like a management consultant. You're withholding that salary and probably increasing it because now you've got this position of experience. And that's what employers like. They want people that have leadership, team skills, communication skills, management skills, problem solving skills, process improvement, analytic skills. So if you've done anything like that in a job before, where you've improved processes or you've introduced new technology to a team or you've managed a team, all of that is so relevant to if you were to move into this new career.
Okay, and is there anyone that it's not right for? Because it sounds fantastic. There's like all these fantastic opportunities to retrain, and you've just been really clear about the types of experience. But who would you say it's probably not right for?
So the reality we're faced, going back to where we started, is that there is a constant change of technology and improvements. I mean, it's going so fast right now. So you have to have an appetite to learn things. So if you're not a lifelong learner and you don't want to invest time in learning, it's not going to be right for you because, but there is a risk that you might get left behind. The problem is this sort of catch-22. We do find that people that come on the program just get addicted to learning. It's very gamified. So you get badges and points and you can get certifications. And so you kind of, people get really motivated by that. I think also be mindful about the way that you learn, because people have said, oh, I can learn this for free, and then they go and try and do it themselves and they just get lost and demotivated. And actually, everybody's joined, the people that have chosen to join Supermums, for example, want to be part of a cohort of people, want to be part of a community, want live training instruction, because they know that's how they learn best. They want that accountability and structure. So they've got exactly what they've got to do week on week, and they've got that plan. So being very mindful about the way that you learn, how you learn things is important, because we can get to a point where we say, oh, I can't do that, and you sort of, you get blocked in it, whereas actually maybe you're not learning the right way. I think the other mindset shift is that you've got to be interested in solving problems for people, because you are going into organizations to solve their problems through using technology. And so you've got to be that person that likes finding out what the problems are and coming up with solutions. So I'd say the biggest thing is it's a mindset piece. It's like you enjoy learning, you enjoy problem solving, you enjoy helping people. You're not, that's going to really invigorate you. It's going to suit that type of personality.
Okay, well, I think you've painted a really amazing, really good picture. And actually, we've done quite a lot of lives, and I know quite a lot of the Supermums cohort who have been through, and quite a few of them have come from flexible working people, and they've all talked about the benefit of the cohort and the learning and how much they've enjoyed the learning. And some have talked about how, before you were talking about how they go back into their industries and then kind of problem solve and help change the business and improve process. I remember having lots of conversations with people who have retrained, who have talked about all those things. And so it really is true. And not that it's not true, but it's just I know, because we've been talking to so many of the cohort or the alumni of Supermums who have come through flexible working people, what they've got out of it. So I think what would be helpful, because we've talked about this retraining, is what does that actually look like? Do you have to not be working? Can you be in a current job and retrain kind of on the side? Tell me a bit, tell everybody a bit about what the training looks like, how long it takes to become qualified in order to then go and be able to get a job.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I always feel like a proud mum when you talk about the alumni. You're like, oh, what they're doing now. I've been sharing case studies of where they are on their journey. But the reality is that, a lot of these alumni have started in different positions. So some of them have been on maternity leave, some have been stay-at-home mums and the kids have gone to school, some have been working full time. So there isn't a starting point that, everybody's at a similar place. Is that, people are juggling around their kids or their job and everything else. I think the main thing is on our course, it's 16 hours a week. 16 hours a week for the first 4 months to kind of get your certification. And so it's been able to carve that time out into your diary and obviously get a support network around you in whatever way to sort of make that time available. Now, in terms of showing up for a session and being, when do you have to be there present? We run a live training session once a week, which is 3 hours. Now we have a morning slot and we have an evening slot. So people can join either of those. If you can't make either of those, it is recorded and you can watch it on replay. So we've literally had people join our program who've never attended anything live and they've watched it all on replay. But having 16 hours a week to do the homework and keep up with things is probably the fundamental sort of criteria. So during the first 3 months, you are learning a key competency every week. You are then practicing that competency 2 or 3 times to really get it. You have a one-to-one mentor that you meet with every week who will check and support you to make sure you've got it right. And they're a brilliant referee for you at the end, because they can verify, your ability to do the job. And you have somebody there holding you. If you get stuck in between, you have your cohort of learners where you can bounce ideas and help each other. But also you can log a case with our support team and escalate it that way. So you've kind of got different ways to get support. And so after 3 months, you've kind of learned all your key competencies around the core skills and the technology and what that needs to, the foundations really. And then month 4, you're studying for your certification, and we do study groups and exercises and questions where you kind of get into it, and you'll book your exam in that particular month 4. Once you've got your certification, you can then go on to work experience. You can apply for work experience if you've got it already somewhere with an existing organisation. That's absolutely fine. But with the work experience, we'll pair you with a non-profit where they do have somebody experienced in Salesforce, and you'll get a project to do where you actually get something to put on your CV, and that massively helps people get in the door when you're learning. And once you've done that, you can apply to our recruitment team, you can apply for jobs, there's various ways we teach you different ways to find job opportunities. Obviously, we'll help provide that as much as possible, but there's loads of jobs in the ecosystem. So we also help you understand how to raise your profile on LinkedIn, how to network. We've got a massive alumni base, and so you can network within the alumni itself, and they can get jobs for you. We've had quite a few alumni go and work for different organizations together. So we've got little posses in these companies. And so that networking is really massive, because the thing is, you're never alone when you start. And I love seeing the photos of our mums all meeting at different industry events together, and not just mums, sorry, it's dads, there's non-parents actually in there. We welcome anybody that wants to do the course, even though our mission is about upskilling women returners. So we've got that whole package of support, what I say A to Z, to help people launch successfully. And as I mentioned at the beginning, people have gone into those range of different job roles depending on their attributes and where they want to be.
So you've talked about 4 months being the length of the initial course. At 4 months, is there an opportunity at that point to have enough training and skills to be able to go and get a job?
Some people have just walked into a job there as well. So work experience isn't compulsory for people if they've got a job. People might know somebody in Salesforce already, might already have that experience, might be working in a role. So we ask our trainees now to apply for work experience if they want it, and then it's available. But some people have just managed to get into a job as well.
But then after that 4 months, you can then further your studies and specialise in any particular area if you want to. Is that right?
Yeah, so we talk about a 2-year development plan. So there's additional certifications we'd encourage you to get, which is why I was emphasising the importance of lifelong learning. It doesn't stop there. Once you've done that cert, there are additional certifications we'd actively encourage you to get, to really double you could double your salary depending on your starting salary. You can have a real progression in the first 2 years, and we want that for you, right? Because you might start, depends on your background as to what salary you'd start on. But this is where we can discuss it one-on-one. So if you you can download a career guide on all of this, and you can book in a consultation with our customer success team to give you a free career consultation. And based on that, we can guide you as to where you might start your career and salary, and then what you would need to do to double it, and those additional skills and development. So it's definitely a journey. But that's the thing with this, is you've got a career progression rather than just a job.
Yeah. And the other thing that you just touched on, which I love, and I know that you do, it's this end-to-end piece where you don't just train people and then they're left on their own to go and find a job. Some do just find jobs because they have their own connections, but you've also got the recruitment arm to the business where actually you've got an ecosystem of roles where people can find jobs through you. And I know many have, which is amazing, because it's really, it would be really tough to sort of go through a training and then not be supported. But I know that you offer that support and then recruitment piece to help people find jobs at the end. So that's quite unique, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we do fortnightly career coaching sessions about how to optimize yourself. We have a whole module based on how to boost your employability and those aspects of it. And then we have the recruitment. But we pull that whole package together because we absolutely do get jobs into us, but there's a whole ecosystem of jobs out there that won't come through our recruitment agency. So we obviously want to always make sure that people have the best chance. We had 320 go through our training program last year. So there's loads of opportunity, loads of networking between each other, and we just want to equip people with the whole skills. So you wouldn't be trapped by being with us in that regard.
No,
you're not like, I can only get a job through Supermums. It's kind of like we can absolutely support you in finding that job that's going to be right for you.
So just on a practical note, if somebody wanted to do the course, when is there a start date, or do they start at various points in the year, or can you start at any time?
So we have a course starting in February, so you can get on board with that right away if you want to obviously chat. It starts in a couple of weeks' time. And then our next course start date is in May. So what I'd actively encourage people to do is, download our free career pack, which we can put in the show notes today, and also then booking a call with our team and sort of think about when is the right time for you to join if you want to do it.
Okay, well, that's been a real whistle-stop tour. Look, we're dead on 11:30. I feel like perfect. We've covered a lot. We've covered what the skills are that companies are looking for. We've covered all the different types of roles and opportunities that Supermums offers and retrains in. And we've also talked quite a lot about the programme and what that looks like. If anyone's got any questions, as Heather just said, you can set up a call with one of their career success team. We're going to put links underneath the video here and give you signposts to how to get in touch with the team and how to have another chat. Is there anything else that you want to leave people with if they're thinking about doing this?
No, I hope that's been a great summary for you all. We'd love to help you if it's the right fit for you. The biggest thing is book a call and have a chat, because there's absolutely no pressure from our side. We want to help you make an informed decision. So download the career pack, explore it, research. If it's not for you, then you can just let us know, and we'll remove you from our mailing list. We just want to really educate people about the great opportunities. If it's the right fit for you, then fantastic. So I hope that's helped you today. Thank you.
Amazing. And also, we've got a lot of the alumni in the Facebook group and connected. And so not just the customer success, but if you want to talk to somebody who's been through it, been through the training, or hear about their journey, or see some case studies, then there's tons of that too. So I think it's always really helpful to know that there are people who have been through it, who were just like you, kind of sitting there going, oh, is this for me? Yeah. And hearing the stories and what they've done and how they've gone through it. And I've been amazed as we've gone through this partnership, because I just get excited every time we do this, because I'm like, there are so many opportunities, and I've seen people go through this and come out getting great jobs, great well-paid jobs. And it's like, for me, technology has always been this bit of a barrier, and I love how you break it all down and go, actually, it's not. There's all these different types of roles and opportunities available for people. So if this sounds like something of interest, then obviously get in touch and have a chat with Supermums team. And I hope this has been really helpful, because I know there's so many people in the group who are struggling with kind of what they want to do next and have careers where they can find that flexibility and earn well. And the combo of those two is something that definitely is on offer through the Supermums and the training that you have. So thank you so much. I really always enjoy chatting to you and hearing all about what you're doing. As I said, we're going to drop some notes. We've had a couple of comments. Brilliant way of explaining things around the transferable skills. I agree. And thanks for breaking down the barriers. Just some nice comments there. So thanks everybody for listening. If you're listening on replay and you've got any questions, just drop them in the comments box. And Heather's always in and out of the group, or you can contact her. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.
Thanks everyone. Bye.
Bye.